Oh, look at you. Oh, you splashed me.
I can't tell how deep all this stuff is. That was so scary.
Hey there, I'm Kelsey, that's Tim, and this is the story of our adventure. Life is fleeting, and we want to squeeze every bit out of it. We are wandering the world, so home is a bit of a moving target for us. We love finding the random, the remote, and sharing it all with you. So subscribe to get lost with us and hopefully find some inspiration to go after your own dreams. Welcome back to beautiful northern Vietnam. As you saw in the last episode, the rain had arrived, and with it, the mud, which I struggled with. But we had made it here to this, while I'm not really sure what it is, not really a homestay and not really a hotel, whatever it wasn't too well loved, and not quite the respite we had been hoping for.
Looks almost closed, huh?
Oh well. So far on this adventure, we were blown away at how many incredible places we had stayed and people we had met. But this morning, we were both feeling a little haggard.
Breakfast with a view this morning.
Still pretty, even if it's mostly clouds.
Yeah.
But yeah, making some coffee for Kelsey right now.
Ooh.
Ooh, wow.
We loaded up the bikes, which we had done so many times at this point, we had it down to a science. It was still raining. In fact, it hadn't stopped raining, and we were still a little soggy from the day before. It's nearly impossible here to get things dry. Pretty much the only option is a hairdryer. But soggy or not, we were still excited to hit the road. Steep, narrow paths are always a little nerve-wracking, especially in the wet.
Oops. Yeah, you're lucky you didn't go first. two near head-ons, not bad though. Wow, just amazing, just so friggin' amazing.
It doesn't matter how tired I am. Once I'm riding, the air, the views, it always wakes me up and puts me in a better mood. Today we had a ways to go, but unlike most days, we had decided we were not going to take on any crazy back roads or routes that may or may not make it through. Because today, we had an errand. We wanted to get the oil changed in our bikes, which we hoped would be a quick task. But we know better than to expect anything to be quick. On days like this, when the weather is this bad, it's really hard to film. The water plays with the GoPro mics and also makes it hard to keep the camera lenses clean. And it seemed the wet was also starting to take its toll on Tim's Cardo, which is the system we use to talk. I had noticed the day before that Tim was getting quieter and quieter in my ears throughout the day, which I figured was just a setting one of us had accidentally hit. So I had reset everything that night, and this morning it seemed to be working just fine. But now, his voice was again fading away in my ears, and try as I might, I could not seem to turn him up.
So sorry if I say what a lot, but for some reason you're very quiet in my head today.
Well, we soon found ourselves in mud yet again. Even though these roads looked like they should be better roads on the map, and soon they will be, for now they were under construction, making today's ride a muddy, goopy mess.
Let's go behind the truck. Get around on this thing. This is the worst idea I've ever had. Okay, I'm around the bus.
Are you right there? Oh, look at you. I was gonna get my phone out and everything. Oh, you splashed me. How could you?
Oh, this stuff is gross.
Yeah. Soup. Yeah, the sound it makes is hilarious. It's like right in between solid and liquid. It's kind of a nasty stuff.
I can't tell how deep all this stuff is.
Yeah.
The road construction seemed endless, and we continued slogging through the mud. But after our crazy day in the mud the day before, this was slippery and slow going, but a walk in the park. I guess things have to get worse before they get better. That's a saying, right?
Wow. Waterfall right over the road, right under it. Wow. The whole excavator beside the road, look at that.
It's way down there. How do we get out of there?
That's wild.
Well, by this time, I couldn't hear Tim at all. Lucky for him, though, he could still hear me just fine. I could sing him songs and tell him great jokes. But for real, we have told you how much we love our Cardos, and it really wasn't until I lost the communication that I realized just how critical it is. Not only for the enjoyment of being able to chat back and forth, but even more importantly, for safety. The amount of times we warned each other about something up ahead or on the road was countless at this point. And it was like having a second set of eyes. By the way, we would later figure out it was Tim's mic that had gotten waterlogged. With our dirt bike style helmets, our mics were pretty exposed to the elements. And little did we know the mic I had was more waterproof. But as we now know, Tim's mic couldn't handle getting drenched every day. The moral of the story? Our Cardos are an essential piece of gear. Well, we had finally reached the Honda dealer, and by now, us and the bikes were pretty well coated in mud.
Ciao.
The bikes got a power wash. We did not, but we did get some tea while we waited.
Okay, we stopped to do our oil change, and that is where we're at now. It is a good stop. We are soaking wet, and so it's nice to sit down and take a little break. And I don't think we're too far from where we're going to stay tonight, which is good because we're both pretty tired today. It was a lot of muddy roads again this morning, so it's nice to be on a nicer paved road, stop, and hopefully stop soon today. But that's what we're doing.
All right, well, we did our oil change. We're good for the rest of the trip, I think.
It's not connecting with you.
Oh, you can't hear me at all.
Now okay.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello.
It says one group member connected, but I can't hear you at all.
Huh. What's going on? I wonder if the plug to the speaker is out. I don't know what to do.
Well, a little frustrated, I still couldn't figure out why I couldn't hear Tim, but very pleasantly surprised with how quickly the bike maintenance had gone. We were back on the road, and like I said, they were actually good roads. And judging by the look of the traffic coming the other way, the mud was behind us. Woohoo!
Just remember, I can hear you, so say anything you want, okay?
Well, I might have celebrated a little too soon. Not 10 minutes after leaving the Honda shop, just on the outskirts of town, something went very wrong. I didn't get it on camera because I was a little preoccupied, but I suddenly found myself fishtailing out of control. I was on ice, my rear tire swinging violently from side to side. I struggled to keep the bike upright, and poor Tim was hearing my panic over the Cardo, all the while watching me swing wildly back and forth behind him. I saw myself being thrown to the pavement at any second, but somehow, and I'm really not sure how, I managed to keep it, well, I wouldn't say under control, but upright, and I was eventually able to come to a stop. Turns out my tire had gone completely flat. I hadn't seen or felt anything that would have caused this, but I was relieved it was just a flat. We were carrying tubes, so that would be an easy fix. Tim kindly got on my bike to limp it back into town. You can see here just how slippery the bike was. Even Tim was amazed at how unrideable it was.
This might be a mechanical place.
In Vietnam, practically every other building, even in small towns, is a mechanic shop, so we didn't have to go too far. And of course, everyone is so helpful, pointing us in the right direction.
Maybe that Castro place up on the left? That was so scary.
Yeah.
We made it to this little shop. They were so friendly. This is their house, and as we pulled up, the kids were getting home from school. Super cute. They quickly took care of changing out my tube, and unfortunately we couldn't find what had caused the flat. No holes, nothing in the tire, not even a sign of a puncture in the tube. But nonetheless, we had a fresh tube in no time, and we're back on the road, headed towards the big city of Haijiang for the night.
Well, that was a crazy day, and as you can see, we're no longer soaking wet or muddy or in moto kit.
Yeah,
So we got the flat tire fixed.
that was so scary.
I was thankful it didn't go flat again, because that was my first thought, was that we could not find the hole in the tube. So it could have been something as simple as at the Honda place where we got the oil changed, if they added air to the tire just as a maintenance thing. We've had it in trucks or motorcycles where a piece of sand or who knows what gets stuck in the valve. Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But we're happy that it got us here.
Yes.
And as you can tell, I'm a little stuffed up. Just a couple of days of rough riding and being cold and tired. We're trying to make sure we don't get sick.
Yep.
So we are resting here.
Yep.
And
then
then
we'll continue on.
Hitting the road tomorrow. And, you know, it kind of always looks like this. So this is downright sunny.
It is.
So hopefully it's like this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And not pouring rain. But either way, we'll head out and show you guys.
Yep. So thanks for coming along. And if you like these, make sure you like them. And we'll see you in the next episode.
See ya.
Well, that's it for this episode. Man, the last couple of days just goes to show that travel isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it's rain and mud. But that's all part of the adventure, and even after a long couple of days, there was nowhere I would rather be. So, as always, thanks for watching. We have loved reading all your comments. It's so fun to share such an amazing country with all of you. Join us next time as we get a taste of the very touristy Haijiang Loop. It's full of police.
One, we just got pulled over by the police.
Lots of scary drivers, and of course, some more mud. We'll see you then.